I can hear you.
I can't see you guys. I can only see me.
Well, no, because he cut us out.
Yeah, but usually you can see the other people in the thing.
The Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Beacon, a home for those who have a passion for filmmaking and the unusual. The Haunted Hiddensdale House. Those who walk there do not walk alone. Paraware, apparel for the action-seeking paranormal investigator. Dragonfly art and soul for all of your magical, metaphysical, and spiritual needs. Mystery Control, your go-to feed for science, magic, true crime, the paranormal, and so much more. Paraniagra, one of the top rated destinations in Western New York. The Black Cat Lounge is part of the Paraflix Entertainment Network. Everybody, Tim Shaw here. It's so great to see you guys. It's Tuesday again. Can you imagine that? It just feels like, wasn't it last Tuesday we were together, and then the Tuesday before that, and maybe the Tuesday before that? What does that say about us? I think it just says that we're boring individuals, but we are cool people. Why? Because we keep it right here where it's important, here at the Black Cat Lounge, where the important people just hang out next to the dumpster transfer station. Where else would you want to be on a Tuesday night? I don't know, but I really don't care either. But you're here, so that's all I care about, really. True. Thank you guys for being here. Listen, I want to thank everybody that came out to the Hair Mansion fundraiser that we did in Euclid, Ohio, last week, Saturday. And it was great because I got a chance to do gallery with Stacia Willis and Larry Shapansky. I should be able to say that name, Shapansky. And it was a lot of fun. We really had just a ball just hanging out and helping out a great cause. They're putting this place back together again, and it really was great. Plus, everybody, all the people there were so much fun. I just had a ball. I had a ball hanging out with everybody. So anyway, we got a good show for you tonight, whether you like it or not. Oh, I got to also say, everybody, before I go into the show, I have to go and say hello to everybody from Stockman's Tavern that came up on Sunday night. I had to remember what day it was. Sunday night, we were all up there, and they were a great bunch that just had a lot of fun, and we all just, wanted to just say hi, And of course, we have. Wait a minute, before we go in, we have the one and only Mr. EVP Todd Bates. And he just wanted to come and say, hey, hello, what's up, Tim? Well, I don't know what's up, Todd, but I got a crew here tonight. Let me tell you, this crew is like one in a million. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you, Todd. And a good friend, Candace. Hi, Candace. And she wants to say, hey, Frank, because why? Frank is a superstar. Frank Roberts is one of our superstars. It's one of those people, people don't realize it, but, Frank is very, very, very influential. He is a headliner. He's a headliner. That's where we're going to go. But anyway, we got a great show for you tonight. The reason why it's a great show tonight is because I got 3 of my friends on tonight. And if you want to go and hang out with some crazy people, well, not crazy people, but they're on the spectrum. We're all on the spectrum one way or another. And you get a chance to come here to Western New York. You got to go to a really great location. It is probably one of the most haunted locations that I've actually had the pleasure of actually working on a regular basis here. And it's in Lockport, New York. It is the Western Block, otherwise known as our 247. And with us, let me bring in the gang. You ready, gang? We're going to bring in the gang. Look at this gang. Look at this group that comes. First off, we are going to go down and say hello to the owner of the Western Block, the wonderful, the vivacious, the effervescent, the iridescent Miss Heather G. Heather G, how are you, Heather G?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good.
Next in line, we have, well, I affectionately call him a lunker because that's what he is, actually. And this is the guy that turns around and will text me in the middle of my workout and say, I don't want to tell you what to do, and then he usually sends me something painful that I'm supposed to be doing. But he is here with us tonight, the one and only, who's sucking down something while I'm introducing him, the one and only Frank Kupka. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. How are you?
And just below me, in the number one spot, let me tell you, he is a myth. 3 years ago, this man would say, paranormal, what the F is that? Now, he's not only a world-class paranormal investigator, researcher, bon vivant, and he is an oddities collector. I infected him. I infected this guy. You know what? Back in disco, it's probably one of the easier things that you can cure, but you know how it is. Being an oddities collector is something that is in your blood and changes your DNA, and that's the way it is. And I'm going to tell you something else. These two other cats over here on the other side of me, they're okay when it comes to investigating and attracting things. But this guy is a ghost magnet. I'm going to tell you what. We'll talk about it a little bit later, what happened. But when you're in an investigation, you have one of two things that you do. You either stay close to this guy if you want something to happen, or you stay away from this guy if you want your own, if you fear for your own safety. That's the way it is. And it's not because of him I fear for my safety. So guys, welcome to the Black Cat Lounge. Thanks a lot for sharing your Tuesday night with us.
Thank you for
Good to be
having us.
here. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
You guys are fantastic. First off, let's just start off with the lounge here. You know what? I was busy today, so I was looking for a couple photos here and there. Not a lot. But as you can tell behind the lovely Heather G, that is the block in a nutshell, right behind it. Look at that.
It's not a backdrop.
No.
It's really here.
That is what it's like.
Real.
And what is amazing is when it's at dark. That's beautiful, right? Like that. When it's dark, it's kind of crazy. But
it's awesome.
Heather, tell everybody about the Western Bloc. Give us a history about it. Because it's what I love about it is the fact that you guys know how much I love history. You guys know how much I love, hauntings. You guys know how much I really get into preservation and that sort of thing. And what's crazy is it's walking distance, a stone throw away from the Erie Canal. So it's got all sorts of craziness to it. So Heather, let us know a little bit about it. Tell everybody about it. Yeah. And you don't even have to get into the hauntings. We'll make Frank talk about those. Okay. And John is just here just to be beautiful. So anyway, Heather, tell everybody about
at least I know my place.
Oh,
Heather, what's so special about the block? It's just an amazing place.
Yeah, so it's 200 years old and it's right on the Erie Canal. So the building that I'm in now was built from stone quarried out of the canal while they were building the Erie Canal, and it's limestone. So it's a very historic site, predating the Western Bloc, which was formed in 1888. It had a rich history of, being formed while they were forming Lockport. So there's a lot of different industries that predate the Western Bloc. But the Western Bloc, they made pulleys and wheels for ships all over the world, and they became world renowned. And they were very active during World War I and II. So they existed all the way up into the late 1990s. And from then on, it became an arts and cultural center.
So before we go into anything more about that, Heather, when we start talking about the block itself, what were some of the buildings that predated? Why? Because the one thing I've found when we start talking about haunted locations, I find overlapping anthropological and archaeological tie-ins. So what else was on that property before the building itself was put in?
Well, we do know that the Holland Land Company took over the land from Native Americans. Um, and then the Holland Land Company started selling off different properties in the area. So our property actually also had the fire department, the police department, a cotton batting company, a hide tannery, apple dehydration place, a cigar shop, a hotel, and several other things that I've since forgotten. But a lot of different industries just packed into this site before Western Block started taking over.
Well, what I love about it is the fact that when you have so many different industries, it seems to roll a little bit. The properties start to get a little bit more, how can I describe it? A little bit more active because of the
Mhm.
personalities that have walked in those lands. But what I found, which is very, very important, is that you have rushing water. You have water
Yeah.
literally across the. First of all, you got the canal there. You've got the spillway, which was like the other night, Sunday night was screaming. It was
Yep.
screaming. It was that loud. I didn't even know it was. I didn't know what it was. I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe that the locks are. It's getting the end of the season. I can't believe the locks are going to be letting out like that. But it was screaming.
Yeah.
But tell everybody about the raceways. The reason why underground tunnels were created they're all
Yeah.
man-made tunnels. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Erie Canal, it was, a great waterway for ships to get from one point to the other, but there was a lock system that got boats up to the top of the ridge. And there was quite a elevation change, so that it was a series of locks that boats had to go through. However, on the sides of the canal, there was a whole hydraulic system that utilized open channels of water, and those channels of water coming down the sides of the canal were able to hydropower all the properties that were along the canal, this being one of them, and this being one of the largest ones. Our property sits at the end of the raceway run. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Sits at the end of the raceway. I give up.
Raceway.
Sits at the end. It sits at the end where there was a natural spring, and they incorporated the spring into the raceway system. So we still have flowing water today from that spring portion that's still active.
Now let me just even let's stir the pot just a tad. Just a tad. We all know the importance of the industry and all that has taken place in that area. I mean, it was very, very industrial. And of course, I mean, you had all these canalers that were hanging out, the people that worked on the canal and the boats. You had industrial people, workers that were in and out of that factory left and right. But however, during Prohibition, we have a strong sneaking suspicion, and we'll talk about the reason why we have this suspicion of something else, some nefarious activities that may have been going on, may have allegedly been going on. We will do this properly because we don't want to hear from ghostly lawyers, because that's the next thing. That's the only thing that I haven't heard in the last while,
The last
because
thing I want after me.
my ghostly lawyer told me not to be able to do this or that, so so we could talk about that. Go ahead. You've got the floor, Heather.
So there was a brewery at the top of the hill, right above behind the property, and they had access to the spring channel system. So that spring runs under two of our buildings, and they were able to. A lot of the waterways were open. They
Mhm.
were able to dump things at the top of the ridge and catch them in the lower buildings on this
And those
property.
and those things may have been allegedly.
Allegedly, barrels of alcohol.
Yes. And you guys actually do have a barrel that you guys found on property, correct?
Yeah, we have a couple. We have some that have just fallen apart with time, but we do have one that we do want to start sending samples out to see if it was used as one of the alcohol barrels.
I think that's pretty interesting. But as someone who has done a tad of research on the canal, and mostly in the Buffalo area, at the terminus of the canal itself. We do know of different, how can I say, different locations that may have been very nefarious, such as Doug's Dive, and that's where, and the word dive, the term dive that we use for really crappy bars, actually comes from the canals, the dives. And we do know that they did have little compartments, or they had trapdoors in which they would get rid of bodies and they would float out into Lake Erie, whatever. But there may have been a strong possibility, correct me if I'm wrong, there could have been a very strong possibility of a organized crime tie-in and the raceway system.
Yes. So there was a bunch of different groups that ethnicities that did come to the area to work on the canal. There Italians in this area being one of them. In fact, on the other side of Exchange Street, just across from our property, there it was a whole area they called Little Italy, and it was said that they had a very big hand in a lot of that distribution of the alcohol that was going on.
Tonight we have the staff of the world famous, the infamous, just a place that I love, Western Block in Lockport, New York, guys. So anyway, now let's switch gears a little bit. Let's switch gears. Now, Frank,
Yes.
you were one of the original investigators that kind of fell into this location, quite literally.
You can say that, yes.
Yeah, he fell into it. But you know what? The reason I say he fell into it is because he was brought in by somebody, and then he really took to it like a duck to water. And it almost feels like sometimes it like just called him into it. Now,
Yeah.
let's bring you back to that time. What were your first impressions when you walked in? Because I remember when I first came in to the place, it was really cool because I love industrial. That's my thing. I love taking photos of industrial places, and I love lines and all that stuff. And I am a amateur historian of the industrial ages and all that. What was your first impressions when you walked in and saw this place?
First impression was it's freaking huge. That's one. That was one thing. The second was it was really cool because I got to start off in one of the stone buildings that we use. So that was really cool. Like you said, it was old. It was really, really cool. I didn't get to see a lot of the building. I got to see more of the modern stuff that we use, like some of the classrooms and the galleries that were upstairs. So it looks much cleaner now that we've opened stuff up and I can see all the real old stuff. It's really, really cool. But it was like a calling. It was like when I got there, it was like, oh, that's a pretty cool building and it's huge. And then when I got inside, I'm like, yeah, this is really cool. We got to do this. And I started getting stuff on my spirit box, which made it even, that much better. So after about an hour or so, it was only in there for about an hour or so. After about an hour, we left and then set up a meeting with Heather. And one thing led to another. I had a idea and a plan in place of how I thought public stuff should run. It actually jived with hers. It was pretty close to being spot on, and we just ran with it from there. So it was definitely like a calling. There's no doubt. The more you go back, the more you start to dig, the more we start to find out. It's pretty interesting because there were places that I've gone to, like my aunt and uncle lived in Wilmington, North Carolina. Well, guess where one of the owners was from? He was from Wilmington, North Carolina. I did a investigation at St. Albans in Radford, Virginia. Well, guess where that owner taught school? When it was a boys' club, when it was a boys' school, he taught in Radford. So there were a lot of things. Then I started finding out some stuff about my family and their ties to Lockport and some of the other stuff that you just mentioned. Allegedly, we don't know for sure, but allegedly. So now it's really like it's kind of like, yeah, I need to know what's going on in here, and if relatives were actually in this building or help things out, that kind of stuff. So it's been really cool.
Well, you know what? One of the things that always impressed me was the fact that I never had to look for paranormal. It always found me in that place. Mm-hmm. So let's go to my buddy John. Let's go to the world famous Toby, who is I'm telling you, he's a world class collector now. It only took him two trips to Cleveland to make him a collector. and he's given me a run for my money when it comes to Ouija boards. But already. Now, Johnny, let me ask you this.
All right.
You're one of these. I'm going to tell you what. I have worked with a lot of different people over the years, but I've never worked with somebody that when they come into the mix, things do happen. Things do happen. So you know what? Let me ask you, when you first started, didn't you find that place kind of unnerving? I give you credit, but for keep coming back. But I mean, what was it like when you first walked in there and I won't say a newbie or anything, but being interested, but yet not really having a good sense of balance?
Well, I think one of the first couple times that I went there, was always interested in paranormal and had experiences in the past, but wasn't really sure what to think of it. And then the first couple times at the block, just going on, walking around with Frank and Heather and everyone, and just feeling the energy shifts, seeing doors open and close on themselves. Got that like little adrenaline rush that like, okay, I want to keep coming back and seeing what else happens. And then the infamous night of the flashlight flying off the shelf really kind of solidified it for me. I'm like, this is actually a lot of fun, and it's something I want to keep doing. Want to find out more about the history and just kind of understanding more of like what else is out there, and to be able to broaden those experiences.
You know what, John? I give you credit because you get a gold star from me because I remember the days when I'm very jaded. You guys know how jaded I am. So a ghost has got to come up and kick me in the ass for me to really even like acknowledge it. You, dude, were like beyond the you went from dude run dude all the way to I'm going to stand here and you tell me what to do, and I mean, I give you a lot of credit for that because it was I think it was less than one season. Probably
Yep.
I saw you maybe like 6 weeks and then all of a sudden you were so addicted to it. It was like, I'm there and I am not going to let this thing go and ruin my investigations of it.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, so it's like I tell Frank and Heather, like, when I'm walking around there now, I have no qualms about walking around in the dark by myself. And, um, where, not going to lie, the first year I started doing it, it was like, yeah, it was a little scary, but not going to lie.
John, you didn't do bad because you didn't have to hold anybody's hand to go to the bathroom in the dark.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Not that you know of.
Thanks. No, I'm tongue tied on that one. I do not want to even know. But no, I mean, I give you credit because it's not an easy thing. I mean, I've brought up in it and I still jump at stuff. Saturday or Sunday night, we were all on there and everybody was in a circle doing an EVP session. And I stayed in the back because I kept thinking there's something off to the one side, and I could hear footsteps back and forth by this main hall door. And I'm thinking to myself, should I get up and look? And I thought, nah, I think, discretion's the better part of valor on this one. I'm not really sure I want to know because I mean, in all honesty, it's one of those locations that is so big, somebody could sneak in there and be hiding and then like have to go to the bathroom or something and walking through there. But this is a great story. Heather, tell everybody about when you, I believe, locked yourself out or you left your keys in there and the ADT, the silent alarm went off.
Oh,
This is probably one of the classic tales that I have ever heard when it comes to a location. Now we're gonna go ahead, tell everybody.
Well, I have a habit of losing my keys everywhere. It just so happened on this particular day, I had been up on the roof and I went back up on the roof to go and check some heat strips I put up there. It was winter and came back down and I had gone into my office and realized that I had locked myself out of basically everything. So in order for me to actually go home, I needed to find my set of keys, my first set of keys, then retrieve the second set of keys in my locked office. And it was a cluster. So in the process, I picked the lock to get my first set of keys or second set of keys, and then I started retracing my steps. And during that time, the alarm went off, and LPD, our lovely boys from Lockport Police Department, found their way into the building. It was a rookie and his training officer, and they came up the stairs. That's what the entrance led to. And one went down one long hall, the other went down the other long hall, and then they came back and met. And not the rookie, the other one was freaked out. And all that the camera caught was him saying, "This place is haunted. I heard footsteps. This place is freaking haunted." And he decided to book it out of the building,
Left
Leaving the rookie there.
leaving the
rookie
rookie.
there. That's one of the best stories I've heard in a long time. But it's so close. Feet don't fail me now. That's the way it works. Now, Heather, before we go on, I mean, I just showed I'll show it again, a quick view of the Western Block. I mean, this is a long. You can see just how long this building is, but it's also very, very deep. How many buildings are actually a part of this?
Last count, it's about 13. Lucky number 13.
You got
So the
13
property's
buildings in it.
been, yeah, built up and down. So they went through amassing all these structures, they joined them as well. But there's about 13 separate conjoined buildings.
And also, we're not at ground level, really.
No.
When the
Yeah.
buildings were built, right? They
Yep.
isn't like the basements in some or the original ground level.
Yep. So everything was filled in, and what we use now is the first floor. Used to be the second floor. There was a whole sub level. We do have access to some of those, but there's other buildings we know has that sub level just based on the age and the property and the level at that time, and we don't have access to those.
That's
So
pretty amazing. That's pretty
yeah.
amazing. Now, let's talk about what you guys actually have captured on your CCTV. I should have asked for a clip. I forgot about it. But you guys can go and tell, Frank, you can talk about what was captured, how you guys tried to disprove it, and then you can talk about how you got pushed into a window. But I'll turn that over to you.
Well, it was the first year we were doing it. It was about 8:30. I believe it was the second week of October in 2020 when we were doing it. We had just brought a group up from downstairs. We were discussing how the K2 meter works as a electromagnetic field. It can, you can check the electric boxes and stuff like that. They were discussing that, and then the group turned and started to walk down the long, dark hallway that we have. And I turned and I looked through the doorway and into the classroom. I saw a shadow go across the wall, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll wait for Heather because she's probably just coming through. So I'm standing there and waiting, and nobody turned to come towards me, and I'm like, that's kind of odd. So I went in the classroom, and you could feel the energy, went up and checked out. There was nobody in there. Now I'm starting to think, like, what the hell did I just see? And I'm like, so I went out back into the hall, heard a noise, thought there was another stairwell. I went to check it out. No, it was just an office. And then up the stairs comes Heather. I'm like, again, I had no idea the layout, wasn't really familiar with it. So I didn't know if she had secret passages and back alleys that she could sneak in and sneak out, watch us and get back, that kind of stuff. So I asked her if she was in that area. She says, no, I was downstairs locking up. And then I asked if she had a security camera. And she says, yeah, of course I do. I go, well, later on, after we're all done, when you get home or whatever, this is what I saw. This is what's going on. Check your camera. I go, I don't know if you'll see anything, but check it anyway, because that's what I saw. So lo and behold, she goes home and sends me a message, and on that camera was the shadow that I saw. And it's been, we've had, I think that last count we talked the other day, we have over 1,000 people through the building. that's mediums, that's psychics, that's skeptics, everybody and their brother. We show them how the shadows work inside the building. We show them what goes on when cars go by, this, that, and the other thing. We ask them for their input as to what they feel or think it could be, or even how it even happened. We actually had one guy, which was fantastic. He took 45 minutes basically and tried to recreate, debunk. He was outside with a 1500 kilowatt flashlight in the park next door, shooting the light to see if he can make a difference, to see if that would work. And he comes back and he's like, "All right, you guys win this one. I got nothing." So there hasn't been anybody yet that's been able to figure out how or where that came from, which is pretty cool. But so we bring people through that, and we ask them, show them, and ask them, what they.
Well, Frank just froze up a little bit. Anyway, what I want to talk about a little bit is the fact that it was a second floor where this was seen, and unfortunately, I mean, there's no way that anybody can go and project it like that. They have tried all which ways. And Frank, if you want to go and maybe try to reboot coming back in, if you can hear us, you might want to try to do that so that you don't look like a Adonis, a Greek statue. Anyway, some of the other things that go on in this place. I mean, it's neat. John, let's talk about the fact that, I mean, we've all heard voices there, right? We have I mean, and welcome back to Lunker City.
Hello,
Anyway,
there you are.
anyway,
I
John, I mean,
I see the thing spinning. I'm like, oh, great, here we go.
Oh, well, I mean, you've got that effect on men, women, dogs, and the internet.
Exactly.
So, anyway, John,
for radio.
Yes, we all do, except for Heather. Anyway, John, voices are regularly heard there.
Oh yeah. Yep. I mean, we've captured some, excuse me, some great EVPs throughout the building. We've captured disembodied voices where we're with a group and people are getting whispered in their ear, or doing a quiet EVP session, and you can audibly hear a voice that go around, and everybody's swearing on their dead grandmother that they didn't say anything. And so that's one of the coolest things. I mean, the flashing lights, the other stuff that all the stuff we get. I think when we can start capturing some really cool actual audible evidence it's a lot of fun.
Well, speaking about capturing evidence, that is a great segue, John. You are. I have
I'm
to
a
say,
great
I have
straight
to
man.
go. I have to go. And well, first we got to ask. We have to ask this, or we have to show this. Bill Randall, welcome aboard, Bill. Bill is from the USS Edson, Bay City, Michigan, and I say anybody that's in that area, you want to go. You guys want to go see a great piece of history, but also a haunted ship. Go there. Bill has asked, has anyone, including Tim, seen an apparition there? Personally, I haven't seen an apparition, but you can feel stuff going on. And we will talk about something that actually happened there, unfortunately, to moi. So it was a little bit better than actually seeing it. But anyway, our buddy, our good friend John here, went and he had how can I call it? I think I pooped myself moment, because I know that's what I would have. John,
No, it didn't bother me at all.
Oh yeah, okay.
Not at all.
Yeah, oh yeah. Look at it. You're off turning red on that one, buddy.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Anyway, set this up for us. An EVP, and it's what was going on when you asked this question and you were doing this session, this
So
burst?
there's a spirit there that we've been talking to, that Frank and Heather met years ago, and seems to have come back around. And Um, from what we can gather, a ex law enforcement officer in the 1920s who may have been uh, not, not
Just
above
saying, he's
board.
on the take.
He
Just
was
saying,
on the
he's
take,
on the
yeah.
take.
And
Allegedly.
allegedly,
Allegedly,
yeah, allegedly,
Listen, that spirit lawyer, he's taking notes
right?
right now. I'm telling you
Well,
right now, that
everything is
spirit
alleged.
lawyer, you're gonna be,
Yep.
you're gonna get a psychic cease and desist real quick. But
Nice.
go ahead, John. Sorry, but
So we've also kind of determined that you know there was a brothel and a speakeasy on the property, and that the spirit Dave kind of acted as uh, the doorman, the bouncer, what have you.
muscle, yes.
Yeah. For some reason, he has taken a fondness to me, um,
You can
and
say that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
Uh,
wait, wait, wait. Wait, you need to backtrack a little bit as to
okay.
why he's taking a
Mhm.
fondness to you, because someone else is
So
taking a fondness to you too.
yeah, so I may or may not have a ghost girlfriend at the block. Um, I do well with old dead chicks. What can I say? And so he seems to.
I got nothing. Ladies
You
and
got
gentlemen,
nothing.
boys and girls, and children of all ages, you understand now why I hang out with these three guys, these three people.
So apparently, it's we got this
Allegedly.
little. Allegedly, we have this little, two dead, one alive love triangle going on, and I think he wants me to join their side. So,
Well, anyway,
so
I'm gonna play this EVP.
yeah,
I'm gonna play this EVP in just flat, which means I didn't amp it, I didn't do anything to it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow it to go through a 3-cycle loop. So I want everybody to kind of listen in on this because um, we're kind of thinking that it may have said that well, maybe they were hoping that John might join them. You're right, but here it is. This is everybody. Listen closely. Put your bat ears in and listen in. This is flat.
That's good.
Dave, what do you intend to do to me?
Now, you did hear something at the very end of that, and it's a di. It's this. I have gone and I've amped this up. I've run it through my filters, and there's when you run it through your filters and you got a headset on, there's no denying what this says. But it's still a little harder to hear, but I want everybody to kind of listen to it, but I'm going to let it run 3 times.
Dave, what do you intend to do to me? Dave, what do you intend to do to me?
Pretty clear.
Dave, what do you intend to do to me?
It to me, and of course I'm jaded, and listening to it, it does sound as if it says death or dead. And it's that when I ran it through 2 different programs, 2 different sets of software, and I got the same result each time. Now, I can tell you that early on in my career, if I heard something like that or an F off or whatever, I used to walk away and say, you know what, I'm never going to do this again. Now, I got to ask you, John, what was your reaction to when you heard it?
so, so, so this happened this past Friday night, and the best part is that we had two skeptics, uh, um, with us on the tour who, we did a dowsing session in the room prior to this, and we asked if this Dave would, do something to prove himself that he
Mhm.
existed, and he said no throughout the dowsing rods. So he decides to come through on the EVP, because we did determine that, yeah, he wanted to do something, some harm to me. So I asked what his intention was. The EVP comes through. Not gonna lie, all the hairs on my arms stood up, and I
He
think I
had to go
said,
out. I'm sure he had to go out and get his emergency underwear just to be that he carries with him just for such occasions. Because I
I
know
think I said, did that
File
just
under the
effing
chair,
say what I think it said? Like,
Well, let me. You know what? That's an incredible catch. It really is. That's. I would consider that like a B catch. A B class. So I think that's pretty good. I think that when the place hops, it really does hop, and you can get direct. And I don't know how intelligent it is, but to me, it does seem like you're getting two-way conversations on there. What were you using? Just, a lot of people want to know because, I mean, first off, you guys know what I think about certain recorders. I mean, I like old stuff. What were you using?
so that's a Sony ST25.
Now that's probably what, 20, 25 years old.
yeah, give or take.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
So, I mean, I have to say that I own two of those, and I have gotten phenomenal. I've really gotten phenomenal results with that, and it's really, I can't say enough about it. I really think it's a good piece of equipment. But then I also use the old Olympus coffins and all that, those type of things. Angela wants to know, because I know Angela came in on a tour.
Mhm.
Angela would like to know, has Josephine been identified?
No, not yet.
No,
Have we
Mm-mm.
not
heard
yet.
more about Josephine? Has Josephine
Not since
stopped
that night.
by?
Not since that night.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting because sometimes they come, jump in if you agree or disagree. Sometimes you get spirits that just kind of roam through, or they could be there for whatever reason. But you never know. You
We
never
get a lot
know.
of travelers through there, as Heather would say. Yeah, we
Yeah.
get a lot of travelers through, whether it's from the canal or from the spring system, and coming down from the cemeteries. Or there's water everywhere, so they can
Mhm.
they jump. You know how waters are conductors and everything else, so they can.
Exactly.
Theory is they jump in and they go wherever they want. So they could be bouncing in and out. It could have just somebody that bounced in for the night and we caught them. And as of right now, though, we haven't had any more interaction with her.
Mhm.
So now let's talk about a certain night. Was it this year? Was it last year? I can't remember. But
It was a year
last
ago.
year.
Yep.
And oh, wait a minute, Bunny, look at this. Ooh, Frank rocks with the dowsing rods. He gets great input. Dave is an intelligent haunt.
Thank you
If
very
you
much.
if
I appreciate
if
that.
That's funny.
and if
I did learn from the master up there, Mr.
what can I
Tim.
tell you? What can I tell you? And remember, when I offer dowsing 101 coming up, learn from a real dowser. This kid right here. Anyway, we'll talk about
I
that
did.
another time.
I did. Thank you very much for the compliment, though, Bunny.
But yeah, well, you were easy to teach. You're not a rock. You're not as big a rockhead as you pretend to be. Anyway, anyway, uh, let's talk about a certain night we were up in up way in the attic, and this area, third floor up here. What I thought was unique was when Nick Groff came with Deathwalker. They were caught at what looks like an ethereal, like three-fingered, like claw that reached out from behind a set of shelves. Now I've seen CCTV footage of that type of thing at Hinsdale, where something came up and around from behind a couch, and a girl was sleeping on this couch. So I mean, I can't explain it. I mean, I've been up there several times. We were in another area, and just in the upstairs, that attic area, and well, this is why I don't ever want to hang out with John by myself in a haunted location because he attracts it. He attracts it. So, John, I'm going to let you set the stage of what happened.
So, we had,
John, what's up?
um,
Sorry.
hey, Mike. Um, we had, we had a spirit box going, and we were actually at the time doing a live, and uh, through the spirit box, I may have been talking about alcohol and prohibition and the brothel, because the area we were in is pretty much where all that activity was allegedly taking place. And um, over the spirit box, we kept hearing the word run. And I said, I'm not running. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not running anywhere. And it was at this moment, Tim, that you were about 3 feet away from me.
I was minding my own business.
That's a
Minding
first.
my own freaking business.
That's the
And I was
first.
walking towards him, gently holding his REM pod. I was walking towards him to give him this REM pod. I'm telling you, not doing anything. The only thing I heard was our whiskey's better than that Canadian whiskey. That Canadian whiskey's oh my God, he's going on, right? Well, all I know is I felt myself spin and I felt like I was like slowly going to the ground. I remember my feet frozen. I could not move my feet. Both of them. I could not move my feet. And I kind of pivoted and then it was like slow motion. And I remember hitting the floor thinking that's going to leave a mark, That's the only thing I could think of. That's going to leave a mark, which it didn't. My buttocks protected me. Thank you, Frank, for those buttock exercises that you have made me train.
You're welcome.
Freaking Godzilla guy here. Anyway, and I was on the floor. I mean, it was like I've been doing this for I don't know how many years, I mean, I've been since Moses came down with the 10 commandments and I've never been knocked down to the floor. I've been scratched and stuff, but I've never been spun around and knocked to the floor. And then Heather, what did you bring over to me that I still can't believe to this day?
Your shoe.
How far away was my shoe?
It was a couple feet.
The
Yeah.
velocity, it felt like the velocity was so strong that it
Like
knocked
3
my
feet.
shoe off. It knocked
Yeah.
my shoe off of my foot. And of course, Lunker there, I mean Frank, he's like, it was like watching somebody get hit by a car. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful, Frank. Thank you. But it was, I got to say that it was neat. It was a neat experience. And it
And
was weird,
the crazy thing is, Tim, you didn't make a sound like
No.
No. Yeah.
going down, and then just the diabolical laughter afterwards.
well, I wasn't hit.
Yes.
Whatever laugh came out of you afterwards was hilarious.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like I'm going to be totally honest with you guys.
Hey,
I
Pat.
mean, I was just like totally like shocked. I think I was in shock on that one, and all I remember is saying, "You son of a bitch! You finally knocked me down. You finally got me." And it was like it was great. I had a little skin knee, but that was the only thing that happened. So I mean, if it had been that, if it had been that targeted at me, if it had been that much of a real push, I think I would have gotten bruised or whatever, but no bruising, no nothing. So it was like I gotta say, it was pretty neat. It was a great experience for me. I mean, I could see other people like not thinking it was so cool, but I thought it was cool. But you know what? Oh, Bunny, you got it. This is exactly it, Bunny. You weren't the target. It was guess who. This
Yep.
is what I mean. This is what I believe. I believe it. That's exactly it. To me, what I think what happened was there was a rush of energy, and I believe that it was a concentrated ball or rush of energy that I accidentally walked into. It was my own fault because I was strolling through the park, and I just spun, and it hit me first. That's what happened.
Little
I
foo-foo.
definitely think it was after my buddy Toby, and I think that's what it was. But it was really that I have to say that was really an interesting thing that happened. Some of you know what, oh, Angela got a little push. Wait a minute, here we go. Let's put this right up. I got a little push on my lower back in the new room.
Oh, really?
The one
Nice.
that you're,
Oh,
the one that
that's
you're
interesting.
in.
He's in right now.
The one I'm sitting in right now?
Yeah, nice.
Goodness.
Listen, better you than me because you're in the building by yourself, Heather.
Right?
And Bill, oh, this was a good one. Thanks to Tim, I had an entity go right through me. We were filming for Haunted
That was
Saginaw
good.
on the USS Edson, and there were, we had done a seance or something. I guess I can't remember exactly, but we were doing a seance or something. And it was like it wasn't. We had a little table movement, but that was about it. And our good friend Ann and Bill were like sitting behind me, and I said to the director, I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, it wasn't a lot of activity, and I turned around, I see Ann and Bill like this, like something had passed right through them. So ever since then, Bill was like, "Come on back, Tim, come on back." And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, because you're going to throw me overboard next time that happens.
Kind of like what you did with the sword and almost took the moose head off, and then the sword impales John at the table at Grand Midway.
Grand Midway. Well, this is guys, just to let you guys know quickly. This is what happens when you travel with these three. Grand Midway in Windber, Pennsylvania. All I can say is we were doing a little bit of a ritual, and there was a big sword, and I was cutting the etheric fibers, and I went up and I almost sliced a stuffed moose head's nose off with this sword. And then I set the sword down on this dinner table, right? And guess who's at the far end? John. He looks up and goes like this. This looks like the beginning of every bad horror movie I've ever seen, because all he could think of is that sword taken off. But it happens. It happens,
Although
But
the best part of that whole night was when we were doing the Ouija board on the table, and Zozo comes through, and again, John still new at it, and he's like, "Who the F is Zozo?"
and I go like this. Just a Sumerian demon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no worries. It's all good.
This was still in his
It was in my wee years. Yeah, it was in my infant years.
Now he's not too bad. Brad Kling from the famous Kling brothers from Ghost Lab. This place sounds like party, like Party Central. It is. It's a great place. We have a great time. We do a lot of ghost tours there and privates, and and we experiment there a lot.
Mhm.
So it's just fun. It's just fun. Brad and Barry, you guys got to come up north next time. Next time you're slumming or you miss your flight, you'll end up here. Come on, we'll take you up there.
Take care of you. We'll take care of you guys.
Now, guys, we gotta talk about something that's really special. We've been working on a project that we actually dropped this year. So Heather, Frank, you guys can talk about the amazing cooking show that you guys have developed, and Toby and I are the PAs. See these hands? If it wasn't for these hands,
these are the magic behind the mics.
Those cameras would not turn on all by themselves. That's what it is. So tell everybody about the cooking show, man. And I got to say, you know what? It's a lot of fun, and we'll be we finished we finished season 1, and we'll be doing 2, as soon as we get close to the end. But go ahead, guys, tell everybody about it.
All right. Well, it was an idea we've been kicking around for quite a while. It actually came. Tim actually he brought up kind of the idea of he wanted to do something about meals to go, like meals on the road. So everybody's on the road. Hotels are expensive. Meals are expensive. He had an idea of doing something to, cut the cost down. Stuff you can make to take with you, or even make in the hotel with you while you're there. so we kind of kicked around some ideas, and then we decided to add in a lot of history with, especially with the Western Bloc. A lot of it's to promote Western Bloc, to get their name out there a little bit more, to tell everybody how Western Bloc is and what it is. But we added true crime. We'll add some. We did a series on Prohibition. We're gonna do some more stuff between the connection in Lockport and Prohibition when we do some more research. Just a whole gamut of stuff. It's not just one genre kind of thing or one thing. It's gonna be a whole bunch of different things. We did one of the good ones that I think that we did was the best one. I think was on Mark David Chapman. We did murder burgers that day. So that episode's coming up. We did murder burgers. We did chicken murder burgers because he shot him in the back like a little bitch. I mean, did I say that? But anyway, Heather, go ahead. You can talk.
I don't know. You summed it up pretty well. Pretty much. I can't cook, so Frank does a lot of the instructing. It's great.
Oh my God. Heather, put your fingers up like this. Go ahead. Put your fingers up. They all look like they're there. How many times have you cut yourself?
Oh, just once.
Yeah, but
The knife might have been upside down once too.
Oh,
she was.
we won't talk about her trying to cut something with a knife upside down. When you see that, I mean, unless you're really looking for it.
But she has a microwave.
Oh my God! What? Now
it is kind of comical to watch too, though. But we try to keep it as informative as possible, and it's just being a retired corrections officer. I love all the true crime stuff and all the mafia, all the prohibition stuff, and any of that stuff it's all history related too. It's not just something that's horror or paranormal. A lot of it has the history to go back with it. So I mean, we look into the history and that kind of stuff, and we just added in the simple meals that you can take with us, and that's why the show's a half hour, and you can knock these meals out in 15, 20, 25 minutes, half hour, and boom, it's not an all day kind of thing.
That's what I love about it, because it's just a lot of fun. And Talk, you guys can say a little bit about when you guys mention mob or mafia ties, you guys kind of get some kind of reaction.
Yeah, just a tad. A ton. The REM pads will go off. Look at the dead bell will ring. Lights will start going out. I think the audio went on one of the cameras.
Yep.
Yeah. And batteries will drain like crazy.
Yep. The battery in one of the cameras, just brand new 2-hour battery, went. So, I mean, these things happen. So, guys, there's so much going on at the block. Make sure you guys get on the website. I'll throw the website back up again here. And, just see what's going on. There's always something going on. See what's going on. See if you want to come in just for a private. See if you guys want to come in and just hang out. See, what the special events we're doing. What other events you guys doing this year?
We are doing more family hunts. So we do family hunts for kids. Not a lot of places have something like that, but it's a nice supportive atmosphere for kids to bring their family along, their parents along, and ghost hunt as well during the day. And then we've got some more ghost hunts throughout the year that we're doing.
And you got a little Krampus thing going on.
Yes,
and Day of the Dead, right? Those are
we're also going to be at the Halloween vendor fair this Saturday in Lancaster, out at the Variety Club. We're going to be out there. November 8th, we are going to be in Dundee, Michigan with you. We are going to be doing a talk on
He's the headliner.
This one is.
He's the headliner.
That's the best one. He is.
These are our assistants. Headliner, assistants. Excuse me, Heather. Here's a 400-pound prop. Can you drag this in for me? Thank you, Heather.
Sure.
John.
I know mints and a hot towel. I got
That's exactly it. And find a place that has waffles, because
Yep.
all I'm going to say is Heather.
Absolutely.
We gotta watch because Heather gets a little upset if she doesn't get her waffles.
I know my job.
We do a talk. We're doing a talk on the difference between provoking and reenacting. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be it's a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, hey, time is out. You guys are fantastic. I'm so thrilled that we had the time to just talk about all the cool things that happen at the block, all the fun that we have. That's the one thing that you're going to find out about us is that we're not so
Rigid.
like rigid, because what happens a lot of times, because of TV, you'll see people like, oh, we are the king of researchers, we are this, we are that, we only are doing this so seriously. Well, I'm sorry, but to me, in order to get a successful hunt, the most stuff that I've ever got has been when we've been laughing and we've been just talking. And that's why I always say, take the duct tape off your ass so you can enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, what's the sense of doing it?
Absolutely.
This is, we always have to understand that paranormal investigations is a pseudoscience right now, and it falls actually within the realm of belief. And there's so many people out there that sometimes forget about that. We do know some great people like Brad Bradley and his group who are looking for patterns and doing it and looking for, scientifically trying to track things. But for the most part, when we go up to the Para Niagara Western Block, we're able to go and just do a good investigation, but be a little bit freer. And that's what we look about it. So guys, thank you so much.
Come on out and have some fun.
Yep.
That's exactly it. So anyway, stay on the line. I'll be right back. Talk to you off air. Guys, I want to thank everybody for being on the show tonight. I want to thank everybody for watching the show. I want to thank everybody just for hanging out and being cool. Because why? You guys are the coolest. Why? Because you are hanging out at the Black Cat Lounge with me, Tim Shaw, where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. We'll talk to you next week. Ciao, babies. Be good. Bye-bye.